Hello. This is Els Company from Beam's Crafty Corner. And today we are going to make this beautiful bookmark style dangle for our journals and books. And here's the special thing. This is customizable. Let me go ahead and pull it out here and we'll take a look at it, okay? So I'm going to show you how to put a name on this and then how to bead it all out and how to make this little dangle so that the next time you're reading or journaling and you want to mark your page, you can just put that in there and it'll hang right over the end. No need to put any holes or anything in your journal. No need to put any other attachments to it. It simply slides into the page. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get all of the supplies out and get started, and I'll be right back. All right, what we're going to need. We're going to need one of these book hooks. We're going to need one of those. Okay. We are going to need a couple of pairs of pliers here, at least one regular pair of needle nose pliers and a round tip pair of pliers. You can get away with just these two because most needle nose have a cutter in them. If yours don't, you'll need a pair of cutters. You may want some specialized pliers if you have them. You don't need these. I use them just because they make my life easier, but I'll show you how to do everything with those two pliers as well. This one just makes a loop in the end of a wire for you, and this one is just an easier cutter for cutting various wires. We are going to perhaps need a piece of foam that you can stick some pins into. You're going to be using two types of jewelry making pins today. The first one is called an eye pin. And the reason they call it an eye pin is because it has this little loop at the top. And the other one we're going to be using is just a straight pin. And that's because it just has this little flat cap. Now, sometimes these come with a little ball on the end or a little pearl or something. Those are perfectly acceptable if that's what you want to use. We're going to be using some small letters that I have. We're going to need probably some seed beads, some various charms if you want those, and then some beads and things of different sizes, generally picking a color, and then some spacer beads, some 6-inch jump rings, a claw or clamp of some kind of a jewelry closure, and between 3 and 4 inches of chain to do this. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. And the first thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be putting together some beads as dangles that we can add to the chain, and then we'll be assembling the entire dangle. All right, so here we will start on assembling the name. And the first thing that we need to consider is at the end of the name, do we want to have a bead on that or not? And that's going to determine the type of pins that we're going to be using for this. Okay, so for this one, I'm going to go ahead and add a bead to the end. So all of my pins are going to be eye pins for this. And I'm going to be bringing in some of my seed beads. And a lot of what a seed bead does is just kind of separate things, but you want to go in balance. So I'm going to put a seed bead on the end of an eye pin. And then I'm going to put on a letter. Now, for the purpose of this, I chose a 4-letter name, Dawn. Okay, and then I'm going to place another seed bead on, because symmetry is what we're looking for here. Okay. Now, once we have this symmetrical, we're going to be putting a loop at the top. Okay, so let's look at how to do this with just the regular pliers. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our regular pliers and we're going to fold our wire at an L angle. Okay? That's going to lock our beads on. Then we're going to cut this down to, we want to have about a 1/4 of an inch. We're going to take our round pliers. We're going to grab right at the end to the size that we want the loop to be on the post. And then we're going to start turning. We're not going to move the pliers. We're just going to keep turning until we've completed the loop. Okay? So there should be a little bit of a backward bend and then your loop. All right? All right, so now, depending upon how long you want this to be, if it's a short name, you might want it to be longer. If it's a really long name, you might want it to be shorter. This one, I'm just going to do it kind of short. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the first letter in the name, and I'm simply going to connect that letter to the next one, and then I'm going to use my flat pliers, and I'm going to twist this together. Okay, I'm not going to push it together. I'm going to twist it to where it locks into place, okay? Let's make a dangle. Here we go. I have a head pin. That's just the ones with the flat head on it. And I'm going to start this by placing a black bead onto the pin. And then I'm going to use clear seed beads. So I have a black bead, and then I'm going to put a red bead, and then I'm going to put a seed bead on here, and I'm going to put on this red bicone. Okay, then I'm going to go the other way. So I'm going to put another seed bead, then a red bead, and then one more black pearl. Now I've created the dangle that I want, so I'm going to come in with my regular flat pliers. I'm going to give myself about 1/8 of an inch between the top bead and the pliers, and I'm just going to fold that over, just like that, okay? You see that? I'm getting it to focus. There we go, just like that, all right? Then I'm going to take these and I'm going to come out about 1/4 of an inch, and I'm going to remove the excess wire. I don't need it. Now I'll come in with my my rounded pliers, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to find the spot on the plier that has the size diameter that I want for this loop. I'm going to pinch the wire, and I'm going to fold back towards the bead. So I'm going to hold the bead, and I'm going to begin to roll the wire. Now when I get to the point where my hand won't go any further, I'm just going to slide the pliers around the loop. I'm not going to take them off because I don't want to disturb the size. Now once I get it all the way to the inside wire, I have created my loop. Okay? So that's it. That's my dangle. That's how I make my loops to connect them. Okay, so for the next one, I want to do something where it's like a dangle and a dangle. Like I want to put a charm on the end of a dangle. So I'm going to build a dangle just like I would, only this time I'm going to be using an eye pin. That's the one with the hole in it. It has the built-in loop. And let's do this square bead. Okay, so I've got a nice dangle here going. Let me get my pliers. Now, if you're somebody who wants to be doing a little bit more beading than you're doing, I will put a link for this pair of pliers in the description below. I got these from the Hobby Lobby. They're available at Hobby Lobby, and I believe Michael's has them as well. They do come in 2 sizes, 1.5 millimeter, and I believe it's a 1/2 millimeter. So, but it makes a perfect loop every time. So now I have part that I'm going to hang on my piece, and then I want to put a dangle on here. So I'm going to select a charm. Let's go in here and get one. And let's do this little moon, okay? It's small, but we can work with it. Okay, so to add this, all I'm going to do is take a jump ring, and I'm going to take my pliers, and I'm just going to open this jump ring up. Now, there's already a cut in it, a slit, so I'm just going to twist it. Now, let me show you with 2 pairs of pliers how you do that. You're going to hold it on one side and just twist the 2 pieces apart. That's going to open up the ring, okay? Get this really close and see if you guys can see that it's open. So you see how I've just split it open? Then I'm going to put that on the loop and then add it to the existing loop on the bottom. And then to put it back together, let me get the other side here to show you this. All I'm going to do is just twist the pliers back together, okay? Just push it back together. That's it. Now I've created a bead dangle with a charm on the end. Okay, so to assemble, we have our name chain that we made. We have our 3 to 4 inches of chain that we have out, which is about the same length as the name chain that we made. We have a lobster claw. See, a little lobster claw. We do have some more jump rings here, all of our dangles that we made, and a few beads that a few charms that we've chosen, plus our actual bookmark. So we're going to start this by opening up a jump ring. And we're going to connect our name chain to it. And then we're going to connect our piece of chain. Stop swinging. Thank you. There we go. All right. Now, once I have that on there, I'm going to go ahead and put the lobster claw on. And then I'm just going to push the 2 ends back together to close that back up. Okay? Now I basically have 2 chains on here, the one that we've created and the one that we chose. Now we can make this shorter if we want to or longer. It's your choice. But basically at this point what we're going to be doing is we're just going to be taking our dangles that we made and we are going to be putting them onto the chain. Trying not to stab ourselves in the finger as we do this. Now, we may have to open up the holes a little bit. To do that, remember, we're not going to separate it. We're just going to twist it. Okay? And we'll come down here and add it on. And then all I'm doing is just moving the loop back together, which is easier done if I hold on to the dangle itself. Okay, now I'm going to continue to add these, and I'm going to add them along the chain, and perhaps I might even put some on here, and I'm going to alternate them with the charms. Okay, so I've put all of my things on here. Now, I didn't use everything that I made. Obviously, I wouldn't know how many I would need. So I went ahead, I've got my name on here with a little dangle at the bottom. And I have some charms on here and lots of beaded dangles hanging from my chain, all on my little hook. So now the next thing is just to add this to this. Now, in order to do this, you can either just hook this through the existing piece, or you can put a jump ring on here, and I'm going to go ahead and put a jump ring on. So all I'm going to do is just fish the jump ring through the existing hole. Just to give it that little extra. And then I'm going to find the end of my piece. There it is. I'm just going to hook this on to the loop. Just like that. All right, so when I want to add this to a journal, now all I have to do is just put it in, just like that, and it hangs right over the side, right on the side of my journal, and it holds my place for me, and I can take it off and on as I want. There we go. Okay, I hope that you've enjoyed this project as much as I've enjoyed filming it for you. If you have any questions or anything, just don't hesitate to contact me. All the information will be at the end and in the information down below. Until the next time, guys, do me a favor, if you haven't done so already, go ahead and subscribe. Like me, ring my bell, and share me with all your friends because I'm making dangly things. Bye-bye.